Hey everyone, welcome to homework CAPE practice number 1. Today we look at some CAPE problems, and the homework is going to continue to be some practice problems where I need you to explain your thinking. So this one says a system of linear equations for the variables x and y is shown. For any value of c, if any, will the system have no solution? Justify your answer. So remember that a system of equations will have no solution if they have the same slope but a different y-intercept. If they have the same slope and the same y-intercept, then they are the same equation and they would have infinite answers in common. But if they have the same slope but a different y-intercept, what will happen is they'll run along parallel to each other and never touch, like railroad ties, right? And so in this situation, we want to see what value of c would make this have the same slope as the one above it. The one above it has a slope of -1. Right? So we want to see when would c cause us to have a slope of -1 in the other equation. So to start, I'm going to start this by taking this equation and putting it into y equals form. So we have 3y equals cx minus 18. And so what I'm going to do then is divide both sides by 3. And remember, everything has to be divided by 3. So this would be y equals c times x over 3 minus 18 over 3 is 6. Okay, so here we can see that we have a different y-intercept, and so we can come up with a value of c that would cause us to have no solutions. And so I want my slope to become -1. So what can I replace c with to make the slope -1? Well, 3 divided by 3 gives me 1, but I need it to be -1, so c can be -3. So it says, enter your answer and your justification in the space provided. So that's my answer, but I also need to do some justification. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and type it out, because you'll need to type it on the CAPE test anyway. But all right, so c could be -3 to cause this system of equations to have no solutions, because if c is -3, then the slope of the equation will be -1, which is the same slope as y equals -x minus 4. The equation would be y equals -x minus 6, which means they would run parallel to each other and never intersect. Okay, so that's the kind of solution that you would want to write for your justification for this problem. Now part B says find any value of c for which the system has exactly one solution. In order for it to have one solution, they need to intersect, which means they need to have different slopes and different y-intercepts. They could actually have the same y-intercept, that would be where they cross, but they definitely need to have different slopes here. And so really any value for c that isn't -3 would be fine. What I'm going to recommend is, since -3 is what makes this the slope the same, I'm going to say let's try +3. So I'm going to say y equals -x minus 4 is my one equation. And then remember up above I manipulated the equation to be y equals c times x over 3 minus 6. Right? Yes. So let's replace c with 3. And so that would be 3 divided by 3 is 1. So y equals x minus 6. When c equals 3, then the equation is y equals x minus 6. Now I can solve this system of equations. I can do it a couple of ways. I can graph it, or algebraically, these both equal y. So I can set them equal to each other and say -x minus 4 equals x minus 6. I need my x's to be on the same side, so I'm going to add x to both sides. And then I'll have -4 equals 2x minus 6. And then I'm going to add 6 to both sides. So now I have 2x equals, this will cancel out, 2. That means that if I divide both sides by 2, x equals 1. And so then if x equals 1, then I can substitute in and say y equals -1 minus 4, y equals -5. And I could also see that if I put in 1 minus 6 here, right, 1 minus 6, I would also get -5. So y equals -5. So that is my solution. So entering my explanation in here as well. Let's go ahead and do the same thing. I'm going to type in my explanation. And we're going to say if C equals 3, then the slope of the second equation would be 1 and would intersect to give us one solution. And then I would need to show, it says explain each step of your solution. So I wrote both equations equal to y and then set them equal to each other. Need more space here. Then Mr. TC is joining us. Okay, restarting. So then I added x to both sides to eliminate x on the left side, which left me with -4 equals 2x minus 6. Then I added 6 to both sides and got 2 equals 2x. I divided by 2 and got x equals 1. Then I substituted 1 for x and got y equals -5. So my solution is 1, -5 when C equals 3. Okay, so notice that this type of question requires that you evaluate and show your work for how you got each step and explain it fully. And also notice that for this one, different people might have gotten different answers. So you could have said C equals 6 and you would have gotten a different answer. I chose 3 because I know it's going to give me a nice even number and it's the opposite of -3, right? So it would work out nicely. But you could have chosen a different number for X, or for C rather. You could have made that C right here, made it a 6, a 7, an 8. But I chose 3 because 3 divided by 3 is 1, and that gives us a nice, easy option. All right, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Nice and short today. Happy homeworking, and see you tomorrow.